Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be a 2v2 all the random from the WarCraft Friendship Cup. And, well, names you may recognize. We see Romantic spawning as the teal human player here at the 3 o'clock spot. Actually, no, this is this is Infi? This is Infi, this is 120. Alright, so Infi and no. This is Infi. This is 120. This is a Romantic or Fortitude, and that is Kaho. Alright, my brain needed to catch up with what I was trying to say or think and do. For all you guys out there, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, however you guys may be tuning in. I definitely do appreciate the support. Just a friendly reminder for all of you guys with Amazon Prime subscriptions out there and have a free, Twitch Prime sub. That is a way to definitely help out the channel. Now that I am an hourly worker, I do gotta consider how I spend my hours a little bit more. No point taking a massive pay cut. I enjoy this. Taking a pay cut to do a hobby, I guess, need to work a lot more, is all I'm really saying. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. We're going to be looking at Undead and Human going up against Night Elf and Human in this. No, I thought it was all the random. It is not all the random. Alright, so no, Paladin. Here, I got my games confused. Paladin and Keeper of the Grove. I'm so glad I didn't try to fast forward here. I'm going up against Archmage and most likely Death Knight. Now, human-undead combinations generally work out extremely well. Brilliance Aura overlapping with Obsidian statues becomes insanely powerful, as the Obsidian statues themselves are able to maintain a lot of mana. Also, a little bit of a throwback to old school Lost Temple, building farms right here on the ramps. Archmage, is it going to try to attack and then pull back up onto the ramp? That was how things used to be in days of old. There you are, there you go. You can see that the water elemental tanking much of that damage. Is it going to try and lose aggro here? Is it? No, it is not going to lose aggro. Alright, just going to go straight after those units here. I would have thought perhaps it would have attacked the Archmage for a second, been able to stick around and dealing a little bit more damage before getting finished off. Meanwhile, we are looking at a little bit of a battle straight in the center portion of Lost Temple here. And for those of you guys to remember, Lost Temple was one of those very, very first maps that were included in Reign of Chaos. This isn't even the snow version, so this map is perhaps older than many of you if you guys are getting into Warcraft 3 a little bit later. Alright, coming back across here, Death Knight. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out this Forest Troll Shadow Priest creep camp and the Forest Troll Berserkers, clearing out the creeps in the center portion of the map. Very important, as it denies your opponent experience while giving you experience. So this was the very first time players started to understand that this creeps are in fact a resource, as we see Claws of Attack +5 now picked up. Alright, hello everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Archmage now simply going to run through the center of the map here. Nightfall, the creeps are asleep, you can get away easily. And now we're going to be looking at the Paladin and Rifleman looking to perhaps try and engage here. Alright, there's a little bit of damage. Paladin taking a couple of quick shots already. Archmage is going to try and stagger away. You're going to see a little bit more damage here. Keeper of the Grove is in this fight, so it's a 2-on-2 battle straight up in the center. Death Knight perhaps going to try and Death Coil. Water Elemental is being dropped. There's that Death Coil for the save there, as the Footman putting pressure back the other way. Fighting next to a Fountain of Health, also a very dangerous proposition, especially if one of those sides does have range units. And, doing a good job here, creating a little bit of separation. Alright, is the Water Elemental going to aggro the creeps? Yes, it will. It gets purged down quickly, and the Paladin himself is taking a little bit of damage as well. There goes a Treant. Archmage still trying to, chase, and remember the Archmage with dual Claws of Attack +5 and the Gloves of Haste, dealing quite a bit of damage here. This is a lot more of a hard-hitting Archmage than you would normally expect or see at this point in stage in the game. Alright, there's that damage. You can see there, 353. Dropping a Water Elemental saying, hey, let's go ahead and fight once more. Archmage still throwing attacks and fireballs at that Paladin. Paladin now down to 413 hit points as the Archmage is looking to get surrounded. A 4 unit surround right there. Archmage trying to break free, and will it be able to break free right there? A Paladin down to 221 hit points. Huntress is now aggroing after the creeps again. So beautiful use. There is so much traffic here on the map. Well, Lost Temple, with all of these really tight corridors and the creeps just constantly waking up, causing so many issues. There's that Shadow Meld once again, trying to, use that Shadow Meld to heal at the Fountain of Health. Cryptfiend now trying to retreat back here. A beautiful fight so far in this WarCraft, WarCraft Friendship Cup. Definitely, I don't know, for some reason just reminds me of an event that would be pulled out of China. All right. Meanwhile, just a naming convention. Anyways, just doesn't sound good in English, but sure, it sounds great in Chinese, what the original name is. Anyways, Null Overseer going to get taken down. You can see the creeps are still alive here, but with the Fountain of Health to the back of the teal team, they seem to be okay with it. Footmen do have Defend, and now it's going to become a question of whether or not the Footmen are going to be under the effects of this Defend. Meanwhile, the Huntresses do not have that glaive upgrade yet, so they do not have heavy armor. Multiple entangles going down, and oh wow, very low hit point Huntress somehow still able to survive. Archmage now with a third. Oh, Death Knight, day late, dollar short on that Death Coil as the Paladin blasts that Cryptfiend with a Holy Light right there. All right, Death Knight could be in some serious trouble. Is he going to try and use the Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away? It is the amount of ranged units that is really working for Romantic and Kaho right now. Them being able to get multiple units lined up and all engaging at the same time. The start of Footmen making it a little bit difficult, but we'll see how this is all going to come down later. We should be looking at Arcane Sanctums now. Priests now going to get added in. We are getting up some Riflemen to join in on that party. Blood Mage does pick up some healing wards. That is a big item right there, but only 2 charges. Not 3, a little bit of a balance change, as 3 healing wards are incredibly powerful in the early stages, allowing you to clear out creep camps and get ahead even further. All right. In comes the teal army into the red base, but fighting against an undead. Oh, there goes the Death Knight. There's a Siphon Mana. There goes a Skeletal Minion. Slaughterhouse still not done. Still at Halls of the Dead. Lich now out here on the battlefield is going to try and engage as both sides are fighting here. Oh, beautiful job by Kaho and Romantic, forcing this game into 2 separate 1v1s right now, and using that range relatively effectively. The Ultra of Darkness looks like it is going to end up falling, and we're going to be seeing some damage. All right, there. Oh, Book of the Dead surround. Wow, Book of the Dead surround could cause some serious problems, and Scroll of Town Portal quickly transferred right there. Death Knight being forced to back away. Oh, Holy Light unable to finish off that Death Knight. Death Knight able to stay alive at 16 hit points. Looked at that regeneration while on Blight, making such a dramatic difference there, as we're looking at, well, the Blood Mage putting in pressure. All right. What is going to go down here? Archmage perhaps needs to drop a Water Elemental in order to, well, Cryptfiends, they don't have the ability to share units. Archmage wants to drop a Water Elemental to absorb some of that damage. Paladin now comes back over. Who's going to get the experience? That's going to be key. Lich gets the experience, and Lich gets 3 Claws of Attack plus 5. Cryptfiends gift wrapped for Romantic here. There's a Holy Light finishing off the Lich. The Paladin doing his best, a Death Knight impersonation, trying to finish off enemy heroes with that spell, and then dealing quite a bit of damage along with it. And saving quite a few units along with it. All right. Death Knight making its way back across here. Obsidian statue, perhaps going to try to do a little bit of heal. Oh, remember, the Ultra of Darkness was taken out, so it's going to take some time before it is back out onto the battlefield to start resurrecting. Meanwhile, well, Quick scroll of town portal dropping out back here. Going to be low on workers for a little bit of time. Only one worker on that lumber line. Kaho able to dive in, put in pressure. So we're looking at engagements all across the map constantly. Lich trying to get resurrected and trying to get resurrected quickly. Additional acolytes getting summoned up here. There goes another acolyte as the Lich about to make its way out onto the battlefield. Siphon mana, so the Blood Mage Paladin doing quite a number as the Lich now looks to back up here. Perhaps give that orb or that Cloak of Flames to that Death Knight who could be further in. Meanwhile, Infi and 120 really putting in the pressure here. Kaho and Romantic trying to retreat back away. Are we going to see the death of a rifleman? 1, 2, oh yes, needing that last little bit of, Frost and Nova damage to finish off a unit. Orb of Corruption not going to be picked up. Halls of the Dead still sitting at, Halls of the Dead instead of Black Citadel. Archmage looking to back up here. Armies are trying to re-engage. Those are Huntresses with that heavy armor. That is incredibly important to note. Suddenly, your Crypt Fiends and Riflemen are not going to be effective at all against any of these units. Or not nearly as effective because of that unarmor change. And then, that medium armor against that additional bounce could start to chip away at hit points much more easily as well. All right, so Infi is taking the road the long way around, trying to come back, trying to regroup and get together here. Archmage going to try and drop a water elemental here, and now go after, picks up a Goblin Shredder as well. Goblin Shredder going to be forced to try and retreat back, and this is a little bit of a tough engagement. Huntresses, with that additional glaive bounce, really dealing quite a bit of damage here. We're going to see a Scroll of Town Portal landing, and what is happening? Units trying to come back away. Those Huntresses, where are they going to go? Keeper of the Grove forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal to retreat. Shadow Meld in a time. Tree Ants causing some major problems, but it looks like Infi is going to be okay at least for now. Infi has been running up on multiple bases. Same thing with Kaho and Romantic. So everyone, except for 120, operating on 2 bases. Economically speaking, Infi and 120 are just up against the wall right now. With that said, Romantic and Kaho haven't been able to pull away with a significant advantage yet. So any side still has enough to perhaps come away with the victory. Lich gets up to level 2, Pure Up the Vitality transferred to the Lich, 675 hit points. Yeah, that additional 150 hit points makes such a drastic difference as the Death Knight now makes its way off to the north. Oh, this could be a big deal. Sentinel Scout gonna see the incoming Undead army trying to come around the corner. 120's Expo may get shut down before it's really able to pay for itself. Huntresses, there's that little glaive bounce. Let's see, you can see it chipping away, quickly canceling all of the buildings. And here we are. Oh no, it could be a gift-wrapped obsidian statue. Bunch of riflemen just shooting the broadside of that obsidian statue, able to easily take it down. All right. And really, this game has been all about positioning. Infi and 120. Infi and 120 trying to put in pressure here. There's a big Frost Nova going down. There's a Flame Strike. So yeah, Flame Strike across all of those Huntresses. They're trying to create a little bit of separation. You can see the drastic difference now. Both sides still fighting their way through. There's a little bit of Siphon mana. Are we going to see some more damage? Are these Huntresses perhaps actually going to fall here? There's another Flame Strike, but it wasn't against the lower hit point Huntresses as the units are still trying to push their way through. All right, Glaive Bounce. You can see that Glaive Bounce just following up, dealing more damage against all those units again as the Archmage perhaps going to try and pick up a Scroll of Town Portal and a Scroll of Healing if he has the gold. All right. Not quite sure what's happening here. Units are still trying to fight their way through. There's a, one quick healing ward quickly taken back down. There's going to be a Flame Strike, and that is going to be a bunch of dead Huntresses if they're not careful. Retraining into Blizzard. All of a sudden, retraining into Blizzard, a quick entangle, and now we're going to have even more zoning effects as well. Archmage trying to put in pressure again. Are we going to see a little bit more damage go through? Archmage doesn't have, does have enough mana. There's that Blizzard raining down, destroying so many of those units. There goes another Huntress. There goes an Entangle, but that was already a bit late here as we see another Flame Strike come across. All right, more damage racking up here. A Blood Mage, no auto attacks were transferred all over to that Lich. 120 and Infi are trying to figure out a way to put in pressure while pincering these units and this army here. They need to figure this out, and instead, well, 120 gonna head over to the Fountain of Health, heal up a little bit, as once more 120 tries to set up an expansion. This has been such a strong showing by Romantic and Kaho. Yeah, just an impressive showing. Now, Archmage does have enough for a Blizzard. We do see a reveal here. We are getting up an Ancient of Wonders, so trying to bring in some home field advantage. Rifleman, well, not going to be able to do all that much here as the Arcane Towers. There's a Blizzard. Are we going to see an Entangle? Yes, we are. So trying to shut things down quickly, as the Huntress is going to come across here and put in pressure. Now, the Guard Tower is going to get taken down. Both sides trying to fight. It's a 2-on-1 battle for Infi. Meanwhile, Undead here, 120 needs to come over to try and regroup and get into a good spot. Once more, in comes the Undead army, ready to put in pressure back the other way. Destroyers, perhaps going to be the name of the game. There's an Impale, and wow, Destroyers, oh, Holy Light saving that low hit point Huntress. The Destroyers, now with magic damage, perhaps going to be enough to take down those Huntresses. Riflemen and Huntresses shutting down the other expansion. So now it is 4 operational bases versus 2. All right. Infi 120 doing a great job. Well, trying to hold on here, but Kaho and Romantic Fortitude doing an even better job of just pressing their advantage. A final Huntress getting taken down here. Crippler continuing to put in pressure. No trailing Impales. The Paladin may try and use a Clarity Potion, perhaps try and save up a little bit of units here. No, is there a Brilliance Aura? There was a Brilliance Aura on that Cryptlord, and well, perhaps enough to get another Impale eventually. Staff of Sanctuary bringing a unit back home. That is taken down now as, well, the advantage, well, okay, we need to get some more mining happening here to have it be 4 bases versus 3, as 120 finally fully saturates that gold mine off to the south. All right, Siphon Mana, and well, going around, who's going to come out on top? Lich, plus 20 damage, a very hard-hitting, auto-attacking, Lich right there, dealing quite a bit of damage. I believe that was a Staff of Teleportation, but that did not work. Huntresses, and look at this glaive bounce. Look at that extra bounce here. Trying to find units. Just that buzz saw of an ability, as that Ziggurat is going to get taken out before the Black Citadel. So if you're ever curious as to how much damage that actually does, you can see the rates at which it is moving around. And well, the buzz saw here, are we gonna see even more acolytes getting taken out across? All right, so Kaho with the buzzsaw taking down the Undead base with so much damage and so much efficiency. Level 5 now on the Keeper of the Grove for Kaho. That extra bounce, I didn't think it would make that big of a difference, but when you go mass Huntresses like that, that little bit of damage somehow reaches critical mass, and then just finishes off or lines up another target to get finished off so quickly. All right, in come the Huntresses. They're trying to put in pressure now. Keeper of the Grove trying to come back across. There's an Entangle onto the Lich. Lich is going to get focused down. No, Devour Magic quickly eats up that Entangle. Very gung-ho Huntress quickly realizes, wait, I am low on life. And we're looking at more damage. Another Death Coil fighting a low hit point Crypt Fiend. Flame Strike. Are we going to see some dead Huntresses? Yes, we are. As the Huntresses do need to back off. There's some more Siphon Mana again by Romantic, trying to shut things down. Are we going to see a Holy Light right there? Yes, we do need to see more Holy Light again. And this is fighting uphill. This is fighting uphill. You can see multiple misses, but because of those flame strikes, can still turn this into an advantageous position for Infi and Infi's Archmage and Bloodmage. More Staff of Sanctuary trying to save, well, and no more mining up here on the main base, as we see another flame strike coming back across. Romantic going to go ahead and tactically retreat. It looks like, well, Kaho is trying to finish off the haunted gold mine before using the Scroll of Town Portal to get away, but is it going to be worth it? Well, there's that Scroll of Town Portal. Lich gets up to level 3. Huntress is trying to back away. Are they going to get too far? No, they are not. Just within range. An important thing to note now, main gold mines only had, or didn't have that much gold left in them. except for 120s, who still had about 4 minutes of mining here. Infi trying to set up an expansion in the secret corner on the bottom left. That may work out well. Meanwhile, Blood Mage, well, sees the Undead army making its way through. So map awareness, units are going to have to regroup here. And, well, what is a Romantic and Kaho looking to do? There's a couple of guard towers here, big flame strike. All of those peasants pretty much not going to stand a chance getting taken down. This expansion going to be absolutely destroyed. No more mining, significant losses, and down they go. Level 2 now on the Crypt Lord. More concerning is the amount of mana that Crypt Lord is going to have for subsequent impales to really, well, turn the tide. All right, in comes Blizzard, raining down here. Archmage, well, Inner Fire, Flame Strike, Impale, and, well, a quick exit stage left by Infi and 120. All right, resummoning up a Necropolis. Paladin, a now trained up third and final hero by Infi. We're looking at 2 mining bases off to the north, soon to be 1, as this gold mine has less than 30 seconds left. Now for Romantic, he has less than a minute of mining left, hasn't cleared out this top right yet, so that is going to be an important creep camp as well. I believe, well, Fountain of Health in the center, a portion of the map, and now here is a potential engagement. Staff of Sanctuary, however, Frost Nova does do quite a bit of work here, slowing things down. There's a Siphon Mana. Blood Mage could be in trouble. He's actually falling further behind here. Blood Mage is going to try to walk through there. Blood Mage gets a Holy Light to try and stay alive, but the Crypt Lord with Inner Fire and also, I believe, Spiked Barricades. There goes an Impale. There's a Staff of Sanctuary for the save. Priestess of the Moon is out here on the battlefield trying to offer a bit of a damage bonus to the entire Teal army, which is ranged. All right, so an additional 10% damage upgrade for anything with a range attack. Sorry, Paladin. You are the only thing that I see right now that isn't on that list. All right, Huntress is continuing to get a little bit of bonus damage across off there. So there's a Holy Light. Romantic giving a nice 300 burst damage onto a Crypt Fiend, pretty much saying, how do you like them apples? Your Death Knight couldn't do anything there to try and, well, could have done something there to try and save, but would have either overhealed or been a day late and dollar short. Now, Kaho, Chimeras. Interesting call here. Chimeras. Now, if the Chimeras go up against the Obsidian statues, that will take apart well, the glue that is holding the armies together. Now, quick Siphon Mana right there. Blood Mage able to siphon away a decent amount of mana, but that's only, well, I don't know. I don't know what level of Siphon Mana that is. I believe that is only the level 1 variety, not the level 2. Blizzard now raining down. Archmage able to stop some of those units in its tracks, and then we'll have some of them stay in place because of Impale. All right, Impaled coupled with Blizzard and Flame Strike, surprisingly powerful as the Blood Mage continues to make its way through. Oh, Blood Mage just straight up walked into that one, gets taken down quickly. And now a Flame Strike, Blizzard trying to, well, take down all of these riflemen off on the side here. Archmage, tactical retreat is necessary. Staff of Sanctuary, Death Knight, 120 going to try and retreat back away. A couple of more riflemen getting taken out as well. All right, so a bunch of low hit point units. Blood Mage gets resurrected. Blood Mage look, perhaps if they're actually buddy looking at Paladin, look, Blood Mage looking at the Paladin going, dude, what happened? What happened there? Paladin going, did you, like, I can't save you all the time, man. You walked straight into that bar before and chose to pick a fight before I got out of the car, man. Not much I can do. That's not how you want to see yourself all bloodied up in the tavern after how everything is done. Infi setting up an expo, trying to rebuild what was lost. Still has 15 minutes of mining there. Meanwhile, off to the north, well, we may need to start seeing these winged expansions get cleared out. That is going to be key as, well, Blood Mage Paladin trying to finish things off. Paladin got there a little bit too quickly and then had a quick scroll of Town Portal to try and defend. But now what we see here is the Chimeras with, well, very far range, able to take down these buildings so quickly. One round of attack, oh my gosh, one more round of attack, gonna go ahead and try and take down that ziggurat there. So the Chimera is playing the range game against the other army. Meanwhile, Rifleman, well, gonna try and fight alongside here. Where's the Paladin? All right, there's a Holy Light. Blood Mage ends up getting healed and then being able to use the Scroll of Town Portal in time, as Kaho using these Chimeras very tactically. There is one flying machine, and that's going to try and focus down the Chimeras. The Chimeras apparently so cross-eyed they can't hit anything in the air. But, well, Dryads and Priestess of the Moon ready to offer up a little bit of help. So the story of this game so far, Kaho and Romantic have been in just control of the game after that initial clearing of Lost Temple, and have been able to take a strong economic advantage while also trying to limit 120 and Infi's strategies. Now, by constantly working together and being in a strong position, they've been able to trade favorably. But Infi and 120, obviously no slouches. They have not given up. They're still in this game, and they're making it difficult. They're trying to force or see if they can unforced error against Romantic and Kaho, and that's exactly what this battle may lead into. Let's take a look at this. All right, quick impale right there. A lot of damage onto the Rifleman, or this could be just the squeezing and the final destruction of 120 and Infi. Fire machines getting taken down. A lot of impales, a lot of Blizzard Flame Strike coming back across. All the flying machines, all of the Chimeras are gone. Paladin falls at level 5. And now, what is going on here? 120 and Infi is perhaps going to be able to push back the other way. All right, a lot of damage here. Blood Mage falls at level 4. So, wow. Suddenly, Romantic loses his level 5 Paladin, level 4 Blood Mage. Kaho trying to hold on here. Archmage and Blood Mage continuing to fight here at level 5, level 2. This is not looking good at all. They're going to be forced to fall back and retreat. Perhaps they don't know about this hidden gold mine off to the side. All right, going to try and finish off another Rifleman here, trying to do those tactics one at a time. And, well, you can see more damage going down onto these units. Perhaps we're going to see a death of another Rifleman. There goes another. That's level 6 on the Keeper of the Grove. That may be exactly what he was looking for, as, well, 120 looking to clear up Romantic's Expo here at the 3 o'clock spot. Let me know, was that the... what is going on here? 34 supply and 63 supply going up against 55 supply and 38 supply. All right, where are the other undead heroes? Where have all the heroes gone? That is the question. Resurrected at the tavern, so having plenty of gold, and then now finishing things off here. Perhaps, well, the Paladin and the Blood Mage can get a little bit more experience too. Was Kaho and Romantic's advantage just too large? It was that potentially the case here, as though a swarm of flying machines comes back across. All right. Oh, Priestess of the Moon, well, a brilliant shot there, shooting things down. Meanwhile, oh, there goes an impale. This could be the death of a Blood Mage. Blood Mage could be in trouble. No, Staff of Sanctuary for the save here. And we're going to see level 6 now on the Paladin. All right, so level 6 Paladin. Staff of Teleportation going back the other way. We're going to see the death of a Crypt Fiend trying to go after this Crypt Fiend here. What are we going to see? Another shot. There goes another. An entangle there. So Keeper of the Grove shows up to the party. Lich gets taken down. And now what is happening here? Paladin now trying to retreat back. Lich falls at level 4. 120. Death Knight now trying to fall back, and this is still going on strong. All right. Priest, I had thought that it was the Blood Mage getting back into the game, but no, that was the Staff of Sanctuary. So the Blood Mage was still under resurrection or Sanctuary orders. Couldn't really do that. All right, we're going to look at a little bit more fighting. Are we going to see well, flying machines here? Well, another Staff of Sanctuary. Paladin maybe try and force retreat back. Fly machine's going to find that Chimera and shoot it out of the sky, perhaps, as we're looking at a little bit of more damage going back across. All right. there's a little bit of Blizzard. Paladin needs to get away. He needs to find a way to heal himself effectively, as we're looking, heading back off to the Night Elf base. Perhaps a bit of Moonwell juice is exactly what the doctor ordered. Someone left behind a Tome of Strength. All right, little bit of healing right there for that Paladin, and alongside Siphon mana into that Paladin right now. Now, mining, 120. Has gold to mine here as well, and perhaps a little bit, well, no, still plenty of mining here. So it's this corner that has actually still has the most mining left, and now Infi bringing in the flying machines with Bombard, 10 to 14 damage. But remember, these are, it may not sound like much, but remember, these are, actually no, they're two, the supply, right? For their supply, they are quite efficient, as we're looking at the Tree of Life about to get taken down here. No Nature's Blessing. They're taking quite a bit of damage, and Kaho may end up losing this expo due to allowing Infi to train up flying machines to counter those chimeras and now be effective against buildings. So completely 180, or flipping the script. Originally, it was Kaho's air units that were causing ground or building damage, well, allowing flying machines to take to the skies to counter the chimeras. And now, well, the flying machines flipping back around, and now we're back to chimeras again, shutting down another base off to the north. All right, a little bit of a line here. It looks like Kaho and Romantic perhaps trying to, well, finish things off. There goes another rifleman. There goes an Impale. Are we going to see any additional heroes? Druids of the Claw now finally out on the battlefield, and they have Roar. So that is going to be a 25% damage bonus on top of the True Shot aura, and still adding up more again and again. Priestess of the Moon, I believe, has level 2 True Shot aura. Yes, level 2 True Shot aura. So this is a 45% damage bonus if it also has Roar. That's plus 13 damage right there. That is an absolutely huge amount of damage, as Druids of the Claw now make their way over, and they're like, hey, should we be rejuvenating Riflemen? Is that what you want us to do? Well, we need mana. That is actually what needs to be done, or perhaps they can head over to the Fountain of Health to try and recoup. Supply count, 38 supply and 58. Going up against 62 and 39. Supply counts are still fairly even. Gold on bases. Well, Infi and Romantic mining on, Infi and 120 mining on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Kaho and Romantic do not only have 1 active mining base, and I believe it's not even full saturation any longer. All right. Acolyte going to get finished off here. Nope. Acolyte not going to get finished off. Cannot die to poison. We're going to look at a Slaughterhouse about to get taken down. Doesn't have fortified armor. Is it just going to get canceled? There is, well, a quick web there. Meanwhile, battle in the center. Crypt Fiend getting taken down here. Are we going to see a Crypt Lord perhaps get taken out? Holy Light, no. The Crypt Lord seems to be okay with that additional armor from Inner Fire. Spiked barricades. Paladin now needs to back away here. Are we going to see some more damage? Well, yes. Hit right there. All right. Both sides still reigning true here. Chimeras with plus 31 damage. Remember, 3-0 upgrades plus True Shot aura plus Roar. That is a large amount of damage, and now it is going to be up to Romantic and Romantic and Kaho. Perhaps if they're able to regroup together, can actually come out on top. There's a big Roar right there. Are we going to see a Holy Light? Yes, we do. They're going to turn back around, try to fight their way through. Again, Riflemen need to show up to support these Chimeras, as the flying machines are going to go after all of those units. All right. Wow. Flame Strike, Blizzard forcing an engagement. Kaho having nowhere to retreat to. And now Kaho may end up getting taken down. All right, there's Tranquility to try and keep the units alive here. Is it going to be enough? Flame Strike, there goes an Impale. And I believe that is going to be the end. I believe the flying machines are going to take care of those Chimeras. Priestess of the Moon in the back here. The Flame Strike just doing, and Blizzard just doing way too much damage and causing so many zoning issues, as we're looking at more Staff of Sanctuaries. Are we going to see a Holy Light onto that Priestess of the Moon? That's what we need to see. No. Blood Mage ends up getting bursted down. He was lost amongst a sea of red units, and that is the game. a beautiful game going back and forth. Romantic and Kaho had Infi and 120 up against the ropes for so long. I gotta believe they had him up against the ropes for so long. And in the end, though, Kaho and Romantic unable to close out the game and seal the deal. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.